You blur. Yeah. We're live. Hello. And live.
I'm blurry.
Oh shoot! I didn't get on yet. I'm not sure how much I can still share. I'm down under like 14, 13 days.
And you talk about my drama and you're Facebooking.
It's my mouth. Gets me in trouble and out of trouble.
Yeah, my phone's in the other room.
I'll share. I got this. Well, I'll see if I got this. Oh, here we go. I can share. Oh, okay. Why can't I share to groups? That's where I get in trouble. I can share on my page.
Oh, let me flip. Let's see if this comes up.
No, you still there. Hi, 7 people. Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, Jeff Harris. Look at the Jeffs rolling in.
Cool.
Hey, Chris. I want to say he called me out that I talk a lot, but I really said I talk a lot, and he just agreed.
We're up to 9 people.
I'm down to 8 now.
Oh, somebody left us. They're like, no.
Every time we say we're up to something, so he's like, yeah, bye.
Let's see. Well, we still have 8. Somebody left us.
I really can't share to anybody else though. Like it won't let me. Oh wait, let me try. I feel like I'm fixing to get 10 more days. So when we get back from Great American, I should be okay.
You should be fine to post pictures then.
Yeah, unless I get in trouble, like in the interim. I have some things saved up that's gonna press the limits, but whatever.
Let's see. I was trying to share, but I'm having issues. User issues. Okay.
Well, we can't see that small.
We'll have to look at that later, Chicken Wing.
It looks like a... Oh, heavens. I know exactly what it is. I'll probably have that freaking picture. Jeffrey, this is a family show. Jeff and I, like, tag team out for North Texas. It's like, okay, I'm off restrictions. Your turn. But his stuff is ornery. Like, he keeps getting in trouble for the same stuff. I keep getting in trouble for different stuff. I mean, still my mouth, but not the same thing. Can we add?
Hey.
There she is.
Sorry about that, guys.
We hadn't even introduced ourselves yet.
Oh, good. Okay, carry on.
Alrighty. So I'm Tisha Klinkenbeard. I'm the current president of the Craft Whisker Club. And let's see. What else? I'm at a loss.
You're a loss.
And you're so good looking.
We're all such pretty ladies.
That's kind of true.
I did sit outside with the wind blowing my hair, so I have that wind blown look.
Excellent. Very nice.
Saturday Night Live it.
That's directed for you.
Jeffrey, no, I haven't seen that yet.
I'm like, I don't have a gate, so
we'll have to put it on the fence. But all right, ladies.
Summer, vice president of the Southwest region of Beard Mob, out of Beard Mob, North Texas, and the vice president for the Craft Whisker Club, an all-around shit show.
All around shit show? Is that what you said? Or do I have selective hearing now? It's like
no, you heard exactly what I
said. Okay. And I'm Christine Hackman from the Vancouver Facial Hair Club, which is why I have to tap out early today because we have a meeting tonight to talk about maybe having our competition.
Yay.
Yeah. Which y'all will be invited to. Yes. Gonna try and firm up a date. So
cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Fingers are crossed. Yeah.
Well, tonight we have a lot. we have two of the beautiful judges from the Great American, which is happening the 2 weekends from now on Saturday. Is that about right? The
Yep.
25th? Of course, I don't have the calendar right here. Let's see. Yeah, the 25th. I got it right. Surprised myself. So I think Jiggy and I will be going, both of us.
I'm a prejudge.
Oh, she's a prejudge. Isn't she special?
And it just was like recently confirmed.
Well, you've already seen my beard, so, or at least the beginnings of it.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know what category. Well, you all honestly know what category you're getting into, so I think that's the whole prejudging, just to make sure they're in the correct category. So,
yeah, you got to have your ruler.
I got one. I've got several from my little craft whisker bags, swag bags.
Those are the most. I've had mine for like 25 years, and I love that thing.
The little animal one with the ball on it?
No, I have one from back in my medical days, and it's got some doctor's office on it.
So, but the little ones still though. I carry them everywhere.
That's why I found those at Hobby Lobby, so that hopefully everybody else will think they're helpful.
Hey, coconut.
So, okay. So we'll stop talking about measuring tapes, and let's bring on these two ladies. There they are, Miss Amy Roberts and Miss Raven Moore. So, ladies, how are y'all doing tonight?
Doing good.
I'm doing okay. I apologize if I jump out suddenly. I have my puke bucket just in case. But yeah, talking's not good for my nausea, but I will do the best that I can.
Well, we totally understand. And we've had this whole discussion prior to us coming online tonight, so about driving and car sickness and certain people's driving. So anyway.
Chad, for the record, Chad's a good driver. I just get car sick very easily.
Yeah, that's what you'll tell us. See, this is perfect material for him at Great American. Perfect material. All right, so ladies, why don't you each tell us a little about yourself and what I guess some of what you're looking forward to about judging, and everybody, I know the question is going to be showing up on here. What are you looking for when you judge? So whichever one of you wants to go first is good.
I guess I'll go first. What was the question?
Tell us who you are, and I guess what you like to do with your beards. Like, I only compete in creative, so I don't know if you guys have a favorite. And then what you think about going to Great American. And then, like I said, I know the question will come up on here is, what are you looking for? It always does. So
okay, so Raven Moore from Portland, Oregon. I'm a member of the Portland Beardsmen. I'm not an active member. Now, these days, I will show up for the competition. I'll help sell raffle tickets, but that's probably about it, because meetings happen too late for my schedule. But I've been in bearding since 2015. I prefer to compete in realistic these days. When I first started out, I did more creative beards, but now I much prefer realistic because it's a lot easier to travel with and a lot easier to make for me. I tend to do something that will either look like it could be real, or a theme, you know, because I love a theme. With Great American, I'm honestly just looking forward to being in Snowbird because I love it so much. I've gone several years to Utah's competition, but it's one of my favorite locations I've ever been to for a beard competition, so I'm really looking forward to that. I've never been to Great American in general, so that's exciting for me for my big first like national competition, and I get to judge.
You definitely earned it.
I guess what I look for when I'm judging, I don't know. I feel like that's such a hard question because it just like depends on like what's coming in. Like if you're in like a natural category, like I'm making sure you aren't groomed at all, like that you haven't trimmed recently, like because you can tell those kind of things, and like that you're in the right category. So the prejudging right there, make sure it's right. But yeah, I don't know.
Anything about when you judge the ladies?
For judging the creativity of it, like one of the things I tend to ask is like, did you make it yourself? Like, I personally prefer to make everything myself. Like, I don't think like necessarily getting help is like cheating, but like I prefer you do it yourself. Like, and just like the creativity of it. Like, I don't want it. I want it to be attached to your head, like, or your face. Those are kind of the things that I look for.
Cool. Excellent. Thank you. And I guess we'll turn it over to Miss Amy now.
I'm Amy Roberts from Richmond, Virginia. I am with RVA Beard League, first lady of RVA Beard League. Chad, my husband Chad's president. I've been competing. Well, I was competing since 2012. I don't really compete anymore, but I've done creative and realistic. It really just kind of depends on if I get a good idea that I like, get a kind of a, you know, I kind of get inspiration and then I go from there. It's hard to say with judging. It's hard, like, I agree with Raven. Like for the gentlemen, I want to see them in the correct categories. Cause it's hard when someone's got great facial hair and they're just in the totally wrong category. It's like heartbreaking to judge that because it, like they could, like it could have been so good for them, but they were just in the wrong spot. This will be my third Great American, but obviously we hosted the last one, but it'll be my first time in the state of Utah. So I've never made it to Snowbird. I've never been to Utah, so I'm excited. We're going for like a whole week and we're going to do some things around and kind of see the sights a little bit and spend some time with folks. So that's exciting. It's our first vacation in like a year. So I'm just excited to not be at work for like longer than a day or two off. But yeah, for me with the lady, I mean, obviously I feel like I'm pickier with the ladies, but for me, I'm kind of a stickler. I'm beard first and then outfit later. So for me, if you're coming in with a spectacular beard, I am not going to split hairs on your costume because this is mainly what we're judging. So if you have, like, I have seen like some of the most amazing beards and like I wasn't really paying attention to what they were wearing, I mean, from the early days of competing, the 2011s, 2012s, we were in like tank tops and shorts, like the whole costume thing like became a thing like later on. So I love the creativity of it. And I love that. But for me, that's a secondary use of scoring. Like if I'm having a really hard time deciding between people, I'm going to be like, okay, they really went whole hog on it. So maybe it takes a step up. But I prefer that for the ladies that the beard first of all, if it's a beard and mustache, that it is a separation of beard and mustache. Like, I want to be able to see your mouth. I'd like to be able to see you smile or your teeth. Like, I understand that most beards aren't going to move, so you're not going to see it unless you're in a realistic category. You're not going to see it, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for the creatives, it's usually a stationary piece, but I tend to prefer it where there is a mustache and there is does that make sense what I'm saying?
Right. Where it doesn't cover
Yeah.
it away.
As opposed to it looking like a face shield and then I don't see your mouth at all. So not that that's a deal breaker. I've seen amazing beards where that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? I think and I want to see that you spent time on it. I think for my world's mustache, I think I spent like 2.5 months straight, like from the armature on up to the whole construction of it. So for something like this, where we're on like a national level, I'd like to see that some thought was put into it, and and not a beard that I've seen before, because I get it. We've all reused beards. I get that. We've all been there. We've all reused beards, but for a national level competition, I would like to see one that I haven't seen you in before, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like I sound super judgy right now.
No,
Because you're a judge.
You're a judge. So my question for you ladies is, how much time as a competitor, I don't want to stand up there and I don't know how much time to spend with a judge, or to address all of them at the same time, or individually. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From a competitor to a judge standpoint, like I've judged some, and then I've had some set up and like they explained a lot to me, and I was like, oh damn, okay.
Yeah.
So do you just go take your time and try to?
I think some of that comes to the MC too, because there are MCs that will ask ladies, how long did you spend on this beard? Can you tell me a little bit about it? And some MCs will be like, this is Raven from Portland. Okay. Raven's like,
that's when you take the mic and you're like, hey, I got to tell you this.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me personally, like, at least when I'm like competing and I'm going up in front of judges, like I'll give them a little spiel if like the MC doesn't like ask the questions that I like to answer. Cause like sometimes I just hate being put on the spot, but like in front of the judge, it's like a little bit more intimate. I can be like, oh, you can touch it, you can pull on it. Like they'll ask the questions like, what is it made out of? Like, what materials did you use? So those, at least for me, is like when I'm judging, those are some of the questions that I like to ask if we have the time to go through. So if we can't get it through the MC, like on a like more intimate level, like going through.
So when the MC is talking to the competitor, are you actually listening, or are you just, you know what I mean? Like,
honestly, sometimes I can't listen because you've got someone else right in front of you while the MC is talking to the other person. Right. So I'm trying to focus on the person in front of me. So sometimes I miss what the MC's saying, what they're asking.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think it's important too, because I think some competitors are nervous and they'll rush by and you can't even make eye contact with them. So it's like, I think it's important as a competitor to at least like make eye contact and like acknowledge the judge, so that so the judge has a chance to be like, wait, hang on a second. Cause I've seen some stuff where it was like so amazing and the person was so unbelievably nervous that they like go by in a blizzard and you're like, ah! And you'll like call them back up. You're like, come back. Oh, you're like, I want to see, like, cause I get it. I get the nerves, and I get, not everybody's like super extroverted and like, so like, I get that, but it's like, at least nod, like smile, give us a chance to be like, okay, let's engage. Yeah. Cause it can be like, once you're on stage, it's like, woo, like it can be like a total blur for sure.
And I think
when I was at,
go ahead, Christine.
When I was at the Worlds in 2017, it was my first time in front of a big panel of judges, and I didn't know what to do. And so somebody asked me, what did you do with the beard? And I was like, I permed it. In retrospect, I should have said I built it and explained all of that. And so when it came to Worlds in 2019, I learned just enough Dutch that I could say, I built this beard one hair at a time. That's all the Dutch that I learned.
I mean, were the judges all Dutch? I guess.
Well, I figured at least some of them would be, and so because in that part of Belgium they spoke Dutch, so yeah.
Yeah, most of people were bilingual, and Dutch was one of those languages that most people also spoke there. And I didn't learn any Dutch. I guess I'm gonna start doing some German.
German, yeah.
Yeah, das ist gut. Yeah.
I know that
My dad, that was his second language.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I guess I need to start doing that. All I know is 9 and
Now, since
No.
obviously we don't have to learn new languages for you ladies, can you be bribed? Could people bring you perhaps shiny objects, baked goods, small amounts of cash? What would you take?
Oh my gosh.
Nothing? Nothing?
It's so funny because I always joke like I won't turn down a free drink, but honestly, I'm not going to let that stuff influence me because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I want to judge what's in front of me on the day. Like, I want to have a good time. You know what I mean? You can only take ourselves so seriously, and it's for charity. And I think the underlying important factor is that you have fun. So people are like, can you bribe me? It's like, sure, you can try to bribe me.
You can try.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free. Grab me a drink.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. And what's funny is when I'm up there judging, it's like, can we bribe you with a drink? And I'm like, oh yeah, bring me a water or Coke.
Right. Well, I was just gonna say that's the funny thing is like normally I go to competitions and I'm like I go to party. I want to have a good time. And if I'm competing, I'm gonna drink. But when I'm judging, I'll have like a drink, but I'm not gonna get like hammered. Like, yeah. I mean, there are competitions where they were like whatever little, like I don't want to say little, I don't want to demean anyone's competition, but like, they were smaller, fun competitions. It wasn't a big deal, but like bigger competitions and like, I'm not going to sit there and get hammered. And because I feel like that does everyone a disservice that is in front of you. Like, and I mean, there's judges that they're there to party. That's what they came for, to each their own. But like on competition day, I probably will not drink until after judging.
Yeah, I'm probably the same. I try not to drink too much during the competition. One time judging, I got a complaint because I got up to pee too many times because I have a baby bladder. So
So we should bring you some Depends.
I have some. No, I'm just
I had one competition in Atlantic City and the club was totally like, oh, get hammered. We don't fucking care. And I have these straws that fit a whole bottle of wine. And I brought a bottle of wine with a straw in it and put it up on the counter. And the venue was the Stone Pony, and the venue came up and they were like, you can't have that bottle on the main stage. They were like, you can drink out of like a red Solo cup. And I was like, oh, okay. I had to like take it off.
Put it in your lap and just
I was like, okay, noted.
Like the straw from the lap. Hell yeah.
They were like, we have some decorum. Okay.
Well, I get kind of jealous because I'm allergic to yeast and I can't drink anymore. Can't have any alcohol. And so then they're bringing all these, beverages, and I'm like,
I think one year I did a competition and we brought drinks for the judges, but we also brought juice. So we did like vodka and like a juice. So that would have worked.
Yeah, that would have worked. Yeah. I had one competition where I made tiny mustaches out of brownies and cookies. And I had them all in little individual bags and made it a beard and a mustache out of it. And I handed the bottom ones off to the judges.
Nice.
It's like, oh, everybody can eat a cookie or a brownie.
How funny.
well, ladies, we have a couple other ladies sitting in the backstage, and so we're going to bring them on. And they have some amazing beards, I think, with them to show us Did we get everybody else? Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
We have a lot of people on tonight, if you hadn't noticed. So we're enjoying all of the different people. Let's see. So Lisa, oh, did you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Lisa. I have started doing, let's see here, a couple years ago, Portland was my first experience with crafting beards. And that experience, let me tell you, okay, so I did fake flowers, like fake roses. And I thought I had the dopest, like everything. I thought I was like, yeah. And I get there, maybe you guys know who this is, but she had a full-on banana suit. Like you were talking about costumes earlier. I didn't know that was the thing. She had the whole banana costume. She had bananas everywhere, and then she was handing out bananas. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many different levels to this that I just didn't even know existed. But I was sold. I was like, there's so much to this that I just have to be involved. I love the creative aspect to it. And every summer we try to do as many like beard competitions as we possibly can. So yeah.
Was this 2018? Was this before the pandemic?
It was before the pandemic, yeah.
Okay, so I would have been at that competition. I'm trying to remember somebody in a banana suit.
I'm also trying to remember somebody in a banana suit.
I remember Amarta did the lion.
I want to say she had blonde hair, but maybe that was back in my
no, I
days.
know. I remember what
Was
you're
it realistic or it was creative? It was creative.
It was creative, yeah.
It was creative, but they weren't someone who comes around like very often. It was like a newer person, so it wasn't someone who like I knew. But I do remember the beard you're talking about in the outfit.
I was in realistic that year because Raven and I tied, and they had to do a coin flip for our split.
Yeah, it is true.
I've seen that done.
Yeah, it's fun. I think ties are great.
Yeah, but coin flips?
Yeah, coin
Cincinnati.
flips.
In Cincinnati, they play the Rock'em Sock'em Robots if you tie.
Yeah.
I think you beat me for that one.
I did.
I have my last beard. Can you guys? Oh, where am I going? Here we go. Can you see that?
Oh yeah,
was pretty.
Nice.
I do fresh flowers, so I can't have them to display. But yeah, so that's my thing. I think that's my thing, at least for right now.
You did that at Beards on the Rocks last year.
Yeah, so I've just been getting better and better at it. And then Tisha, you're the one who told me to get one of these. This is the game changer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Does it have a name?
I was gonna say, did
Stella.
you name it?
Stella, yeah.
Stella, nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you have the clamps? You can clamp it to a table.
I just retired Bertha.
No.
I have a new one, but I don't have a name yet.
I think I need a legit one. Wait, you have there's no, look at this.
So there's
This is
on the
hodgepodge.
head, underneath the head, it's there should be a hollow center.
Oh,
Turn
yes.
it over.
They make sorry.
It's all connected
Hers
now.
really.
Oh, so the mannequin head that I had, it's just that head with it has a hollow, like a column in the center of it.
Okay.
And what they make these
They're styrofoam though?
Yep, it's styrofoam. And there's so for the center part there, they make a clamp that has a ball attachment that rotates. And so what you do is you clamp it to the table and you rotate it where you need to and tighten the ball, and the head fits on top of it.
Okay, I love this.
Okay, I need
I love
that.
all the stands that you guys have.
We have decades of tips. Decades of tips.
Love it. Love it.
I was listening to the last show, and then I was wondering if somebody had mentioned the Walker's solution, and I didn't know if anyone had heard of using Walker's solution. It's
I know that
so
Christine had Walker tape. I don't know.
So what Walker's solution? You would use this before the tape. So Walker's solution or no sweat solution, it's what drag queens use to stop the sebaceous glands and the sweat. So when they're like pulling their eyes back or putting your lace front on, you put it on before you put any adhesive base on, and it keeps the sweat, it keeps you from sweating where you're going to attach. And it's like a prep that you put on before you put on your adhesive objects or liquids or whatever, and it keeps you from sweating your stuff off. I got that from RuPaul. My Chad got me masterclass for my birthday last year, and I blew through the RuPaul one, and they were at the end, they're doing all these like makeup tips, and they were talking about Walker solution, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Where did
Yeah.
you get it at? Because it's not on Amazon.
When you go on Amazon, look up no sweat solution.
I am literally, I lip sweat so.
Yeah. And it's not going to keep you from sweating all day. It's not like that. What it is it keeps you from sweating for about 20 or 30 minutes so that when you do the application process, your glands are kind of shut down so that the adhesive and your skin can bond is basically what it does. So the no sweat solution that Amazon has, you like spray it on a paper towel and then you like wipe it. So you would spray it on the thing and wipe it. You don't spray it directly on your face. You like wipe it and then you wipe it. And then where you're going to put your adhesive, you put your adhesive on like 2 minutes later or whatever.
Well, I want to jump in because we've left Corey out there.
I'm sorry.
Kind of hanging. No, we've got good conversation going, but I want to at least give her a chance to introduce herself.
My name is Corey Wilson. I'm the chaplain of Mad Viking, Indiana, and I've been competing since last year. So I'm relatively new to this whole game. I mostly compete in creative, but I have a best of show in natural. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure for me whenever I try to do natural. So I try to steer away from it. But my heart's kind of in creative anyway. So it is what it is. So.
Aww.
And Lisa or Corey, are either one of you going to Great American? Yes.
I'll be there.
No, unfortunately, my husband is judging at the Sasquatch beard competition in Emily City. So I kind of have to sort of follow him. So, but good luck to everybody.
Why I would not be with you.
This will be the
So,
first
Lisa,
time that I'm actually wearing a costume.
Ooh.
So I know. This will be fun.
Looking
I'm
forward
kind
to
of
it.
jealous
I guess
that
you're
you
gonna
said that
expect
you
real
used to
powers?
just.
Wait, what?
Go ahead, Corey.
I'm kind of jealous that you guys used to just compete in t-shirts and stuff because I would like to not do
Yeah.
that. So,
Why
That's
I
a good
forget
idea.
who the first girl was to step it up that level. Like,
I probably 2012, probably. A friend of mine did like a needles beard and she dressed as a nurse.
I've seen that one.
I
Yeah.
mean, costumes were like sort of a thing, and then I think it like super became a thing because it just kind of added a fun element. Like, and then for me, if I'm doing realistic, I tend to also dress male unless there's a twist. So like in Sacramento, when I did Ned Flanders, I dressed as Ned Flanders. You know what I mean? Or like so I I went on this I didn't used to do realistic, and then I started doing it. I got on this bender because nobody was doing just mustaches and realistic, and I got this bug up my ass. Because there was like this stigma that like it wouldn't place, like it wasn't enough. And I was like, well, but if I make it really fucking real, if I make it really realistic, sorry, I curse a lot. I'm doing really good right now. Raven can tell you. I was like, I bet if I make it really, really realistic, I can place. And so I went to BAM, which is North Carolina's club, and I did a mustache, and I went as a gym coach. So I wore like a polo shirt
Oh,
and cargo
love it.
shorts and like white socks pulled up, and I had like a whistle thing. And like before I go up, my friend Jimmy, one of our other club members, my friend Jimmy's like, put your hands in your pockets. He's like, don't smile. He's like, don't even smile in your eyes. He's like, rock back and forth a little bit slowly. He's like, be real serious. He's like, you know, clear your throat a little bit. Like, he's like giving me like dude tips. Like, you know, it was so funny. And like, I went up there, and then when I went to the judges, I put my leg up on the judge table and did like the lean, you know, like you're going to
I
get
love
dad advice. And I got second place. I got second place with a mustache. So I was like, I'm fucking doing, I'm sorry. I'm doing, sorry. I'm so sorry. So yeah.
The realistics, I don't tend to dress up like as a guy. Like for myself, I'm a bearded lady. Like this is what I'm going as. Like I'm usually in like a dress or like something cute because I want to be comfortable. Like every now and then I'll do like I'm going as a character, so I'll dress up like a guy. But like otherwise, I'm like, I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I want to be comfortable. Like, I want to be cute. Like, I'll put on my lipstick and everything and just have a beard. So,
yeah, I like the part of like going, it makes people go, this is really like you're dressed like that, but oh, you got this beard. Like, I kind of dig the shit out of that one. Like, when they're like, for me, when guys are like, is it weird to want to kiss you right now? I was like, well, you ain't alone, but better not. Don't mess up my lipstick, you know. But yeah, I've seen Raven dressed just like, I like that. But I also like the full on guy, like the full character where Lizard does that. She'll go straight into the male character, and she just like
she stays in character.
Yeah, Charlie
stays in character.
Flipped in Chicago and Illinois. I was like, she just rolled on stage, and I'm like, I'm up here praying to God, me and actually don't bump each other and fall off these bleachers. Right there, and like, oh, I was dying. Like,
I love it when people, you know, don't recognize you. That's when you're like, yeah, like, got it.
I've had people come up to me, especially in the beginning, and I wouldn't, you know, have a beard on, right? So then one person, I remember it because they got really close to my face, and I'm kind of like, what are you doing? And like, oh, you're Tisha, and your eyes. I'm like, okay.
Well, and it's
that
like,
has to be the biggest compliment, though, right?
Yeah, it's like the classic Whiskerina greeting, because it's like you'll have ladies that maybe your Facebook friends or you've never met in person or whatever, and then you're going to a competition and then you meet them and you're like, oh yeah, oh Kraken beard, oh yeah, you know, like, and then you're like, because then that's the click. Is like you remember from seeing them on stage or seeing like online pictures, but you've never seen their whole face before. So you're like, oh, that's, you know, like, that's you. Got it. Like,
oh yeah, doll shoes. That's you. I remember you.
Exactly.
Me last week with Jess Reynolds, she did the tree. Well, I called it the Groot. She said everybody called it the Groot. I go, that's what I called it too. I had no clue whatsoever. I almost fell out of my chair. I was like, oh my God. You know, and then I wanted to apologize because I talk like this, but I don't really talk to people at comps.
Jess Reynolds is really good at whenever she does her natural beards, especially. I know she blew you away with Groot, but when she does her natural beards, you walk up to her. I've had full conversations with her, and I'm like, I cannot believe it's you. Like, it's crazy to me.
Bruce or whatever. Yeah.
She's done all kinds of. I judged her last week, whenever she won her best of show, and she deserved it because she rocked that part. I mean, she looked like a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, totally. But then we have the opposite as well with Cindy Orton from Kentucky. We compete against her a lot, and she does the bearded lady a lot more. So you get that classic both ways. And it's just cool to see everything. It's cool to see where everyone's imagination goes. Because Cindy this week, she competed in her daughter's prom dress as a bearded lady in natural, and she rocked it out. So
See, that's
I
the
love 'em
kind of
both
stuff
ways.
as a judge I want people to tell me.
Yeah, like if you commit to it, because like at least like what for me when I go on stage and I'm like I'm dressed like they're like, oh, what's your theme, like your outfit? I'm like, I'm a bearded lady, I'm fabulous. Like I'll embrace it or like embrace the theme,
Yeah.
like whatever you're doing.
Right.
Yeah. I love like you will see bitches on stage. Sorry. You will see women on stage. I'm sorry, I'm trying really hard. That's a loving bitches, not
I'll take it.
You'll see ladies on stage and you'll be like, oh, that's good. I'm gone.
You're okay, Amy.
You're canceled.
Okay.
Honest to God, Amy, you reminded me so much of Shannon Cannon right now.
Oh,
Her service is this weekend.
I was gonna say you're gonna make me cry. Sorry.
I'm sorry, but Tisha knows exactly what I'm talking about. It
I
was
love Shannon. Yeah.
it's an inspiration because you're just being who you are. And so for me, I'm like, oh, she is who she is. And I just love this. So honestly, everybody's in the beard world. We know how we talk. Mine is I have an awful mouth. So I just wanted to say, like, I've been thinking that for like 30 plus minutes going.
Oh, I didn't get to hang out with Shannon very often because we're opposite coasts, but we every time we were at a comp together, we hung out a lot.
I only met her on the show. I didn't get to.
She was great. She was a great person.
She was all heart. She was all heart.
And you can see,
and
and you
it's
can see that in you too. That's the whole thing. Is like you're like bitches. I don't normally like. I'm like, you can honestly call me the C word before you just come up and be like you're a bitch because we might throw. Depends. You know, I'm learning that is really a loving term, and the other one is totally okay.
I've had to tell dudes like you're not allowed to use the B word.
I think that's more what it is.
That's a lady thing, and then it's all tone.
Right. But it was like I mean, you can really tell like everybody. We're from everywhere on this in the United States: Oregon, Texas,
Indiana.
Indiana, and Virginia. God.
Well, no, what I was gonna say is I love going to a competition and then when you see the ladies like start to line up because you know we're not all of us are gonna wear our beards the whole freaking time. That used to be a thing back in the day too. Like ain't nobody got time for that now. But but no, like you would see everybody line up and then you'd see stuff and you'd be like, God, oh, like fuck, like that is genius, like that's so, or like you know, like you just want to get a closer and then at that point then you're trading tips. You're like, well, how did you do that? Or like shit, like that's awesome. Like it's like the stuff like Jody Rowene in Steel City, she competes and I'm just like, oh, like fuck. like she like
how do you come up with it, right?
It's genius, right? Like you see something and you're like, A, why didn't I think of that? And B, amazing. Like she did I don't know how many people I'm aging myself, but the movie Spaceballs, she did a Spaceballs beard, and what she did was she dressed as Barf, the man dog, did her whole makeup like that, had the ears, the uniform, and then her beard was Spaceballs the beard, and I just was like, it was so good, and I was just like, oh my god, like she is so inspired. It's like there are just some ladies where you're like, I can't wait to see what they. I mean, Christine, she's not on right now, but she's also one of those ladies where I'm like, God, the granite bust one she just did, I thought
That was one of my favorites. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to meet her at Worlds in 19.
I just like
every time she does a beard, it's like, how is she gonna one up that? And she does every time. It's like, oh gosh, that's amazing.
But I think I have to say though, like I feel like when you have an idea, and like I I have told people this, and I'm sure some people don't believe me, but my world's mustache in 2017, I got that idea at Denver at Great American. When I was sitting, I was just sitting with a bunch of beardos at some part of the weekend, and it just popped into my head. And I was like, oh, I know. I just had such a clear vision of exactly what I wanted to do. And I think those are the creations where you are like, okay, I got this. And then it's a matter of reverse engineering. Like, I have the vision of what I want it to look like. How do I make that vision come to light? And then you reach out to your friends and you're like, have you ever worked with this media? Like, I can't remember. When I made the dolls for the swings, but I made them out of air foam, which dries like clay, but it weighs nothing because I needed them to swing, but I needed to be able to mold it. And you don't have to fire it or microwave it or oven it or nothing. You literally sculpt the air foam and then you let it dry for a day, and then it weighs nothing, and then you can paint it like clay.
I'm writing that one down. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was just like, so this is the kind of stuff where it's like I remember at Steel City one year, a friend of mine that I'm still friends with, was having issues with one of her beards. And this was the first time I met her, and somebody had brought me over because they knew I could help. I was like, oh, I have toupee tape. And they're like, what? And I was like, oh, girl. And I gave her like half my box of toupee tape. I'm like, here, when you run out, you can order more. I was like, take a picture of the box, then you'll know what it is. Like, I think for our community, it's more about like sharing ideas. You know what I mean? Like, because
that's why I got involved. Yeah, that's the whole community that I wanted.
It's so inspiring.
Let's do this together. Yes, obviously we're competing against each other, but it's so much more than that. Like, we're not judging each other. Let's leave that to the judges. Like, between us, we just want each other to grow, right? Like, we want each other to get better within. That's what I feel.
Yeah. I think we want to have fun. And the way we do that is the curiosity that all of us have, I think, that goes into the creations, whether it be natural or creative. I think our curiosity for stuff like that feeds those interactions as well, because if there's something you can learn, my first competition was Kasi, and I guess it was 19. And I was so nervous, and I get backstage, and just like what you were talking about, Amy, everybody's talking about how they did it, and everybody's asking questions. And I think we might be one of the only couple of categories that we actually get distracted in line and probably don't get up on stage when they tell us to, or pay attention to what we're actually supposed to be doing on stage. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I always tell people, anyone that's new to bearding, because, it always sounds ridiculous at first. They go to their first competitions, and I'm always like, did you have fun? Like, step 1. Did we raise a bunch of money for charity? Step 2. Then it's a success. Like, then we're good, because it's not, I know it's easy for me to say it, but it's honestly not about the podium. It's not about a trophy. It's not about placing, like, because I feel like for those folks, it can sour the experience, because I feel like we've all seen that person that gets off stage and they're just so pissed off they didn't place, and it's like, but I got to hang out. Like, I'm so stoked to go to Utah to see people I have not seen in like 4 years. You know what I mean? Like bitches I have not hugged in like 4 fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm excited about. Right. It's like, let's do this competition. Yeah. But then, like, let's party.
That's my favorite part. And like the friends that we make, like, from all over the world, like, that's the part that I love the most, is the community of it. And like, I've made great friends, like, through bearding. Great friends.
Same.
I want to say that this past weekend we were at the Bluegrass Beard On, and Natalie Johnston was there, and I was asking her for some tips in natural, because I know she's a lot better at building natural beards than I am. And Amanda Figgins was there from the Cincinnati Beard Barons, and Amanda wasn't going to compete. And so Natalie has her whole box out and she's like showing me these different things. And she had like 6-7 different beards with her. And she asked Amanda, she's like, do you want to compete? Like, I have extra mustaches here. And Amanda got on stage with one of Natalie's mustaches this weekend. And Amanda won first place and Natalie won third with her own beards. So I'm like, hey, you technically won first place too. Like, but I think that's the coolest thing about the whole Whiskerina community is we're each other's biggest cheerleaders as much as we're each other's competition. So I mean, I feel like it's a sisterhood, for sure.
I think we're all competitive. I mean, you don't enter something, you don't work that hard and not want to place. Just like Lisa said, she thought that beard, those roses, she's like, she worked hard. She thought she nailed that. But then when you see, even though you think you want, I mean, you want to win, but then, I mean, most of us are, or we hope we're all adult enough to go, first of all, that's a better beard. They did it better. But here goes this. Art is subjective with us. So when somebody finally told me that, they were like, art is subjective. You could think it's badass. Everybody in your club could think it's badass, but them judges is who's doing it. But at the end of the day, we've all put in the same registration fee. We've all put in our heart and soul and our finances, depending on what you can do. And the charity is what it's going to get the same amount of money no matter what we place. I get most excited when what I want to make actually comes to life. Like when I succeed with what I'm doing, and the more I fail at it, when I finally get it, I'm like, yeah, bitch. And I really don't care what I place at that point,
I think that's it.
Right. Well, my black
see what was got up here come to life. Yeah.
I just hope nothing falls out. Like,
just stay together. Stay together.
I had that happen once before a competition. I was downstairs in the green room, and I did a big painting, and I had 12 tiny canvases stretched out as the mustache. And someone bumped into me before I went upstairs, and it broke. And so I had 3 people with hot glue, we're trying to get it hot before I could go on stage, gluing it while it's attached on my face. I was like, but yeah, it's worst fear is it breaking, but we've got the community to help get you on stage.
Right. You're not alone ever. Well, I mean, just seriously up there alone, but you're not alone backstage. I think that's what I like, because girls are kind of not like it, And so
I equate it all to like a softball team. You've got all the city softball teams, and they love hanging out, but they mean business. They're softball's competitive the same kind of way. We're all hanging out, having a good time, but there's naturally people are going to be competitive. I mean, it's just, you want what you did and put your heart and soul into, and a massive amount of time usually to kind of be recognized. But then you balance that with what do your peers recognize about it versus what's at that table. So, and it's always a learning experience, definitely. I made it quiet. Oh no.
No, I think your audio's a little messed up.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Is it crackling to anybody else, or is that just
it was
me?
crackling earlier? I could still hear.
Yeah,
but it was crackling.
There was a little lag on it, so that we were making sure. I think that's why we're quiet. It took a second for it to get to us.
But I agree, and I don't have anything to add. I agree.
Right. Man, I'm so stoked about us getting back to live comps.
I know. I'm so excited. Austin was fun.
The hard part is deciding where to go and what to do.
Which ones to commit to.
Yeah. For us, it's a lot of where have we not been? So we, we do a lot of that. like when we decided to go to SAC last year, Chad hadn't been to SAC. So, you know what I mean? And it's a fun competition, you know? So it's like, let's do it. And then we're going to British Nationals this year. I've been, but he hasn't. And I made a ton of British friends there. And like, I can't wait to see them all. And like, you know, so it's like, that's usually how we do it, is like, where have we not been, or what's a state that we think would be cool to visit, or, you know, like a town that would be cool to visit, stuff like that. That's not necessarily the only choice, but it can kind of help us decide, because it's expensive to travel now. Like, I totally get it.
We wanted so bad to go to British. It was going to be kind of our anniversary trip, but yeah, it's not quite happening this year.
When is that?
August 27, 28. Yeah.
Okay. I don't think I'm making that.
Shoot, I've been trying to get out to CaliCon, or I was really going to try to get back out to Beards on the Rocks. It's man, $1,000. I'm driving to Nationals.
I'm also driving. I'm driving to Utah.
Oh,
So
I wish. Oh, we should have hitched a ride.
To
Oh,
Great
it's mine. Oh.
Too long
Worth
for
it.
us to drive.
Not worth it.
yeah, it's a 12-hour drive for me. I had plane tickets. I had plane tickets to go. I prefer to fly there. I did the drive once, and it wasn't for me. But my boyfriend opted for us to drive. He's going to be attending his first competition.
Uh-oh.
So it'll be interesting.
Heck
Now,
yeah.
Summer, wasn't the last Great American your first comp? Or second?
It was I did a villains comp in Lafayette in July of 2018. So I'm about to be 4 years, July 31st. And then my second was Great American. So my first real big, you know, and it was my daughter's first. And I almost died. Like, as soon as we walked in, I was like, the fuck?
It was a big one. It was a big one.
Where's my
I
kid?
was there as a
Never go
observer.
home. And I was like, and then she's like, Mom, braid my mustache for me. Mom. And I'm like, oh, you got me with these nails that are like super, super long. And my hands are shaking, and the sun is coming up, and I already get nervous and sweaty. And we drove there. She and I drove from Louisiana, and then we piled in a car, and there was like about 15 of us. We took 3 vehicles to get there.
Was that like 18 hours, 20 hours?
It was 19 for she and I, and 15 for them. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. And we thought if we got in the back, it would be great because we could just get in the back and like stretch out. It was the tiniest, and we're both almost 6 feet tall, and so it was god awful. I mean, it was fun memories, but like we should have just taken her car, could have spread out, you know. But the comp, the way it was set up to date, I think it was. And I've been to 2 nationals. To date, I think it's still the biggest comp I've ever been to, as far as walking.
Hope you liked our little city.
I mean, I'm super excited for this to be the second one. Like, yeah, I'm so stoked. But yeah, it was RVA was basically our first, and
Nice.
it was an amazing experience. I'd do it all over again, except for in a separate car.
Yeah, we cannot drive to Utah. That's like a 2-day drive for us.
Yeah.
I'll pick you up from the airport.
We're lucky. We're lucky because we had. We're lucky because we had. But right before the world ended, we were going to go to Sacramento, and then the world ended. So we had
talked about still going early on.
Yeah. And then, you know, and so we had our flight credits from there. So
Oh, nice.
we got stupid lucky because we're flying for like $200. So, but that's because we already had the credits from
Right.
yeah. So we just got lucky.
Well,
We used ours for nationals because we ended up with COVID, so we couldn't go to nationals last year. And so I'm actually using the beard that I had almost finished for nationals because I was running out of time. So we'll
Well, it's good. At least
see.
you get to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good you had more time to work on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I decided about 2 weeks ago that I was going to ditch what I had because it was taking too long. And went back and did some more work, and now I just have to figure out how to get it on my head.
Oh man. Oh gosh.
do y'all come up with your bases? Oh wait, do y'all come up with your base first? Not on realistic, obviously, but on your creatives, do you figure out how you're going to attach it first, or is that like the afterthought? Like you build what you're going to build, and you're going to worry about how to get that thing to stay after.
That's a good question. I know like it's been so long since I've done like a creative, but I feel like with that, like I try and get it like together first, at least for me, and then I figure out the best way to attach it to my face.
For me, I always have a base first. For the longest time, I was using if you go to Michael's, I don't know if Michael's is everywhere, but if you go to a craft store, Michael's has this section of like foam. You know how you can get just like sheets of like foam, like thin foam,
Yeah.
like foam letters and whatever. They have these like, and you can get them on Amazon. They have these packs of like little kids visors.
Mhm.
So it's a foam visor, and then it has a an elastic curly. So the majority of my creative beards start with that as the base. And then there you go. Tish has got it. And then those curly things, hair clips, or if you need to put it inside a hat or something, it gives you like a base. Yeah. So I usually start with the base and build from there. Yeah.
My base for my fresh flowers is the most vital part because that's got to keep the flowers fresh. So I have wet floral foam that has taken me time and time and time again to figure out exactly how to make it fit. But yeah, there's like moments where I'm like gluing flowers at the last minute, like doing all those things. But the base is where it's at. But I actually got my like sizing from that kind of like same thing that Amy said, that like visor thing. Mm-hmm.
That floral foam's got to be so heavy.
It's so heavy.
With the water soaked in it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why it's like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't think
It's intense.
That's crazy. I love it.
Yeah. That's why this has this back here, because it gets so heavy in the front that it just falls off.
I was wondering if, like, I know you don't usually keep the fresh flower beards, but do you ever like dry them out so that you can keep them like as just like dried flowers?
I thought about it, but I usually leave them on statues because I'm always traveling. So like I've been leaving them on statues. I've given them away as gifts, like to other people that have asked for them. But yeah, I think this next one, if it turns out the way that I am envisioning it, see, my thing is I don't know until the day before, day of, because that's when I create. So yeah, but I don't know, how am I going to bring it back on the plane? I don't know.
Yeah.
Your carry on.
Realistic is so much better. You just shove it in a Tupperware and then you're good.
Oh god.
I don't even do that with most of the time. You're a little black. Just throw it in there.
My world's mustache. My world's mustache was its own checked bag.
that's nice.
Yeah.
I think if I was building a beard the day before the comp, I would just be on the floor having an anxiety attack, so it wouldn't get made.
I've done it day. I think I went to one comp and I was like, oh, I'm not competing. Like I'm just here to like hang out with people. And they were like, no, you should compete. You should compete. Like we'll get you supplies. I'm like, so like night before I'm making the beard, like after I've like been drinking all night, like at the meet and greet, I'm like, all right, let's make a beard.
Oh my God, that's one of my
I've done
British
that.
friends.
See, my
Brit- No, my British friend's like, you're not competing. And I was like, it is $75 each way for a checked bag. And we are going for 4 days. I'm not checking a bag for a 4-day trip. And she's like, I'll bring stuff. You can just make it on Thursday. And I was like, what am I going to do? Go dumpster diving? And like, she's like, just get on the stage, compete with me. I'm like, oh God.
My God.
My second beard was a real flower beard. I made it that morning, and I'd done a test run and figured out exactly how I wanted it. But yeah, I was at the florist that morning when they opened because I pre-ordered the flowers and had the base already put together, so that all I had to do was stick the flowers in it.
Perfect.
And so yeah,
I'm loving this. I like this, the real flowers idea. That's great.
Y'all are brave souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
Brave,
I was
brave
going
people.
on with cupcakes and a beard. Shit, flowers.
I was gonna do real flowers for Cassie this year because it was the like Sweet 16 kind of prom deal, and this idea I have in my head that I've had for like several years, and I want to do it so bad, but I had to work that day,
Oh,
and I was so disappointed.
that sucks.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to spend some time with Lisa apparently for Great American because I've got to see what she does.
You can help her get ready and then just learn exactly how she does it.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, ladies, we're a little over an hour, and even though so typically we try to keep it at an hour, just so that people don't start hanging up on us. So I want to thank you all for coming on tonight. And of course, as we always tell our guests, you're welcome to come back anytime. And we do try to have some different topics, different shows. So if you ever have anything you want to come on and talk about, if you have comp or just pretty much anything, we welcome you guys anytime. Otherwise, the three of us sit and talk to ourselves, and that, well, it might be entertaining. I don't know if an hour worth of us three talking to ourselves is that entertaining. So, but once again, thank you guys, and I guess we'll sign off. And so, Tisha Klinkenbeer, current president of the Craft Whisker Club, and our VP. Did you really pull that up?
I put it up quick, and then I was like, "Whoa! I didn't like preview it. Let me yank that down real quick. Hang on." So thank you, whoever that is. But we had somebody bust in and say some really foul things on a meeting one time, and so that just I might have had a little bit of a PTSD moment. Sorry. I freaked out.
Yes, I did too. I kind of looked at it. I was like, yes, we were on our club Zoom meeting, and it was all the officers, and Lizard is our secretary, and she was working at the time and had it on her phone speaker, and it was really bad, and we were all trying to figure out what was going on before I could get it like turned off, and some of our customers were leaving, thank goodness. It was really bad. So anyway, I won't ever be giving that recording to anyone for proof of our meetings. Let's just so all right. Well, again, thank you guys. And Miss Jiggy.
Oh, what? Intro again, outro.
Yeah, your outro.
Summer. VP for Beer Bomb North Texas in the Craft Whisker Club. excited. I can't wait to see you ladies.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right. And otherwise, everyone else?
Congrats on your place. Congrats on the places.
Yes. Big congrats. No pressure, in 2 weeks at all, right?
Hey, we're going to Utah and we're going to have fun. And whatever
Oh,
you
yeah.
you're going to pack it and it's going to get there and it is what it is. So
It'll be
At
a great
least
time.
mine
And if
is
anything,
not.
we're in a great location. So
yeah, exactly.
Great people, great
I'm
location.
ready.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All right, ladies. Thank you so much.
Bye.
And we'll
Thank
see y'all
you.
next Monday.
thank you.